What's up, guys and gals, and welcome to Weekend Review, a new series or show or something. I don't know if you can count anything you do with your webcam as a show. I'm pretty sure there's probably like rules and regulations about that somewhere, so I'm going to steer away from calling it a show. But Weekend Review is something that I've wanted to do for a long time on Sundays as a way for me to interact with you, the viewer, so that we can have like a little bit of Q&A time. We can have a little bit of like what's coming up soon, what are we working on right now, kind of like behind the scenes commentary on the stuff that I'm doing with the channel. And so hopefully this ends up working well. Like, I'm really excited about doing it, and I've wanted to sit down and do it for quite some time. And this evening I finally had time to do it. And so, you know, as with all things in life, sometimes you have the time, sometimes you don't. So let's be off on our way. The things that we currently have going on the channel right now, we've got Styx. And so the general way that I'm feeling about Styx right now, we'll start out with Styx because I think that's like a low point at the moment. Styx right now is subject to a whole bunch of weird stuff happening with YouTube. Like, I don't really know what else to say about it other than that. YouTube has like bugged out the last couple videos I've posted. People have said that I turned off the comments when in fact I did not. So I'm assuming that YouTube is broken somehow. I can show you a screenshot if that'll make y'all feel better. I mean, on my dashboard right now, it says that comments are enabled on all the Styx videos. I double checked it after people said that I had turned off comments. I don't know what YouTube is doing right now, and so I would lead off by saying that YouTube is known to be dropping a big patch in the next couple weeks, so expect things to move around and change. I heard ripplings through the YouTube force about it through some of my other compatriots who do the same thing here, and it seems like they're going to be revamping the way that videos are posted and also the way that the partnership program works. And so my only guess is that maybe YouTube is stirring around in the guts of the system right now, because I have noticed some weird things with Styx. Styx has not been in anybody's recommended lists. Styx has not been in people's feeds from what I've heard. It hasn't been allowing comments, but that's the only series that it's been happening to, so I'm not really sure what's going on. But rest assured, I could email YouTube, but I can virtually guarantee you they're just going to blame it on me. That's what they always do, is they're like, you've done something wrong. Oh, YouTube away! And then they fly off into the distance after telling you that somehow you broke their service. So, you know, I would try and fix it, but realistically, there's nothing I can totally do. So if it keeps up, I don't know what the future holds for Styx, but as of right now, I'm finding Styx to really be a pretty satisfying stealth game. I've enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to. It's been a while since I played a legitimate stealth game. I think the last one being Dishonored, which I played on the Twitch stream, which was fun, but I'm bad at stealth games. I tend to kind of just run in and Geronimo my ass off and see if I can just destroy everything that runs up on me. And so with Styx, it's a real opportunity for me to kind of mess around with some stealth skills and see if I can do better, basically. Just kind of up my game a little bit. It's kind of the same thing that we have going on with Alien, but I'll get to that next. The mechanics that I'm really enjoying about Styx right now is, in fact, it does suffer from some of the same tropes that all stealth games suffer from. Namely, I can murder a guy, like right in front of that guy over there. That guy will run over and be like, what's in this box? And then if I hide long enough, he'll just like go back to his patrol and not even worry about the corpse laying on the floor. Like, it has the common stealth tropes, but it's difficult to figure out how you would do a game without including those sorts of things, because it's supposed to be a game, so it needs to have rules and regulations and kind of confined gameplay, I guess. But for having all of those same stealth tropes, I am enjoying the fact that the game has a lot of little secrets in it. I mean, I haven't seen a game with so many alternate paths and just ways you can work your way through a level since probably Deus Ex. It's been a little bit since I've seen a game that had that many kind of crisses and like crosses and turns and, you know, twists and all that kind of fun stuff. I am enjoying the fatalities in the game. I found that some of the fatalities that you get as Styx are awesome, and then Styx is a really, really cool character by himself because I am a Greenskin fan, so you know what, I can't help it. I love the Orc Boys, I love my knobs, I love all those guys, and so when I play Styx, it's like coming home. I am enjoying the game quite a bit, more than I thought I would, because I'm not a stealth gamer. Other things we have up right now, we have Alien. We have Alien rocking at the moment, and Alien is just a stressful game. That is a game that I don't even know how to describe it to people right now. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day about it, and he was talking about how he was playing Evil Within, and how it had bridged the gap for him, like it had picked up right where Resident Evil 4 had left off for him, and he liked the gameplay because it was scary, but at the same time it still had action involved. And I was like, you know what, you should check out Alien, and he was really like dragging his feet about it, or it really seemed like he didn't want to play it, because I think he's burned out on horror lately. A lot of people are into the jump scare genre now, or the creepypasta genre, and that's fine, it's all preferences. I don't like them, but I respect the fact that other people do. That's totally cool. I hope they still get made, and you know, you can continue to play creepypasta games for as long as your heart desires, your creepy little heart. But with Alien, I think that Creative Assembly has really stumbled onto a winner here. It's rare that I play AAA games, and it's even rarer that I'm satisfied by a AAA game. And Alien has really become an incredibly stressful experience. Now, I know I'm stressing all of you out as well. You're like, I know, that is totally stressful, watching you run up and down all the hallways. Learn to play, noob. I get it. Like, I run a lot. I know. I run a lot. It's a natural instinct. I'm a runner in real life, and so I see problems and I run from them. That doesn't seem like a good way to deal with my problems, but I'll deal with that later. We'll deal with that later. It's okay. Alien, I think they found a really, really good spot in that the game does have action. Like, things happen that really force you to ground, and it's rare that I've seen a game that forces you to just sit there and wait things out. And you would think to yourself that it's super boring, but every time I shove myself in a closet in that game, I am super stressed, and time just flies. Like, I was looking at some of the footage I recorded the other day, and I was like, wow, it was like 12 minutes of me sitting in a closet, and yet I watched the video over, and I was sitting in my chair just being like, ooh, this is creepy watching myself do this over again, and I was there. Like, this... I normally don't watch my own videos because I don't find them to be enjoyable. I find myself to be obnoxious, actually, which is a very weird thing. But when I watch those videos, I'm like, oh my god, this is stressful. Like, I can understand why people in the comments are like, this is a stressful series, because it's just, even sitting in a closet, not moving around for 20 minutes can be incredibly just horrifying in that game. Not even like horrifying, it just it gets you in your pit of your stomach. There's something primal about that game and being hunted that really, I think, Creative Assembly, I think they found a very, very real formula for the future of horror games. I was a skeptic. I got the game and I was like, it's probably going to suck. Alien they've had a long history of bad Alien games. I mean, it is what it is. It's been mishandled a lot. The IP has definitely taken its thrashings, but they did good with Alien Isolation. They done good. They done real good. And so I'm happy with the game right now. The only things, I think a lot of people are having problems with the fact that you can't kill the alien. And I get why that is. It's because in the movies, like, the aliens get killed all over the place. Like, Predator goes through aliens like they're not even there. Just, like, rips them in half and, like, beats them to death with their own legs and just all kinds of crazy stuff. Even humans kill off aliens pretty frequently in the comic books and in the films. And so I can understand why people are frustrated by that, but I think what they were trying to invoke is the real feeling. Was it 1978 or 1979 when Alien came out? Can't remember, but they're really trying to embrace the feeling of the film where it feels hopeless. Like, this thing really just feels like it's hounding you everywhere. And so while I know sometimes I sound frustrated in my video, understand that I'm enjoying every moment of that game, and I do plan on continuing the series and finishing it off. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I really, truly, and dearly am. It's a good horror game. As someone who is a horror fan of that old school horror, like Silent Hill 2, for example, games that were more about the ambiance and the setting and just kind of the creepiness of the situation. So, for example, one of my favorite horror movies is Signs, which is a movie that you can only watch for the first time once. Like, I really enjoyed Signs. Aside from the plot holes, I know air has, like, water in it and all that fun stuff. Like, there's water particulate in the air. The alien should melt, you know, if I'm ruining the movie right now. If you haven't seen Signs yet, you're not going to see it. Sorry. Spoiler alert. But anyways, plot holes aside, I always felt like Signs was right before Shyamalan fell off the truck. And that was exactly the same reason why Alien Isolation is kind of creepy to me. You're dealing with the unknown and something that's there, and it's testing you, and it's crossing boundaries just to see what you'll do. Although with Alien, it really kind of charges across the boundary and just, like, headbutts you to death. That alien's a dick. That alien upsets me a lot of the time. Yeah, I'm enjoying Alien a lot. We started Jagged Alliance this week. Jagged Alliance is fun. I'm liking the game. I'm not hating on it quite as much as I think other people are, but I think that's because my only nostalgia for Jagged Alliance is from Back in Action. I never played Jagged Alliance 1 or Jagged Alliance 2, and so I don't have my rose-colored glasses on. This is not a game that was like a big part of my childhood or a big part of my high school years or any of my formative years. It's not a game that I played in any depth. I've watched an LP of Jagged Alliance 2, and I enjoyed it. It looked like a very, very good game along the same realms as to why Fallout is a good game. It seems like a very in-depth, tactical, turn-based shooter. It seems like a good game. But I think the reason that I'm not quite as harsh on Jagged Alliance is because I played Back in Action and just absolutely, I played it for 40 hours. Like, I really gave it its due diligence, but in the end, it just had too many flaws that I could deal with. And so going into Jagged Alliance Flashback, I do agree that the graphics are very rustic. The graphics are bad. I can't really say much more than that about it. The graphics are pretty terrible. I'm not too pleased with the character creation. But once you get into the game, I think after you get through the first couple firefights and you get used to the fact that the AI does dumb stuff, from what I watched in the LPs of Jagged Alliance 2, it seemed like the AI did dumb stuff in that game too, but maybe I'm not remembering properly. But the AI is kind of dumb. I think the big issue right now for me with Jagged Alliance Flashback is I'm playing my own campaign right now, and I'm finding that over and over and over again, the AI is ignoring collision and ignoring cover. Like, for example, there will be a tree. Let's say that my hand is the tree, like a big redwood tree. I will be on the back side of it, and the enemy will be on the other side, and they'll stick their gun through the tree and shoot me in the face. And so that's happened a couple times, and I think that's been my biggest irritation with the game so far. As far as frustrating mechanics go, I don't like it when I see myself as being in cover, and no matter how I rotate the camera, there's no way they can shoot me. Like, their line of sight is going straight through an object, and yet they just bug straight through it and shoot you right in the mouth. That's happened a couple times, and I don't want to give the wrong impression. It's happened 2 or 3 times now, but each time it's happened, it has been a total game wrecker. Like, seriously, I've had to reload a save, basically. Because when somebody walks up and point blanks you with full auto fire through a cover object, it's just like, well, that ended well. And so what are you going to do about it? I think that the game gets better the further into it you get, as from what I've seen so far. I'm about 10 hours in my own personal playthrough, and I think it gets better the further in you are, but it also gets really, really difficult because I think the developers knew that the AI was dumb, and so they made up for it by being very, very overwhelming. So what you'll see as we get further into the series, I've recorded 7 episodes right now, and I think we're on number 4 is what's coming up next, either tonight or tomorrow. And so what I'm noticing as I'm getting into the game, it seems like there's triggers that you step across where when you capture a certain mine, the enemy will get a full upgrade. So they'll go from being militia to being soldiers, and then they'll go from being soldiers to being elites, and they just keep getting better, and their guns keep getting badder and badder until they're firing at you with like machine guns on tripods and stuff when you're still using 9mm. And so I think there's going to be a little bit of a metagame there where you've got to figure out what not to capture, because for example, if you go straight for the mine in the middle of Garcia, it escalates everything up horribly. Like, the AI just starts coming at you full bore once you do that. And so I think the game has difficulty walls that you're going to hit. I think the game is ugly, and I also think the AI is kind of dumb. But beyond those faults, I am enjoying the game. It's been a while since I've played a turn-based shooter that was modern, and so I'm enjoying it for what it is right now. But I can understand the complaints that people are making. It's definitely got its faults. The only plus side right there is that Full Control almost always follows through with the development of their games. And so people said that Space Hulk sucked when it first came out, but they stuck with it, they supported it, and so I can only assume that they're going to do that with Jagged Alliance as well, and I hope that they do, because I think the game is kind of at like a 6 or a 7 out of 10 right now. I wouldn't say that it's a total waste. Like, I wouldn't give it like a 3 or a 4, but I would definitely say that it's in the 6 to 10, or I'm sorry, it's the 6 to 7 realm right now for me. And I think that were they to put in a real inventory interface, they made the guns a little bit more complicated. They gave you a few more tactical options that you could work with. They fixed the line of sight. And maybe, I don't know if that's even within the confines of their budget right now. I'd like to see the graphics get cleaned up a little bit too right now. The graphics are definitely looking like something from, you know, the PlayStation era at the moment. Maybe a little bit beyond the PlayStation era, but they're not looking pretty right now. But I am enjoying the game for what it is, I think. Things that I'm excited about, I think I've got a couple things up right now on my Steam browser, and so looking through, there's been a couple games I've been playing this week. I've been playing Retro Pixel Castles, which is coming out either tomorrow or Monday. You'll see this on a Sunday. I'm recording this on a Saturday, but Retro Pixel Castles, I'm excited about, but it's largely because of the promise that's still there. The game is very, very primitive at the moment. It's developed in Java, which is not my favorite thing. I'm not a huge fan of the jar files. Not a big fan of the jar files, but if you can make it work in Java, you make it work in Java. I don't know. I think that's a holdover from the old days when I used to program. I'm a big fan of like C++, like Python, things like that. I didn't work with Java a lot, so I tend to be a little bit more harsh on it based, like, I have friends that work in industry as programmers who just, they bash on it constantly. So maybe I'm just like inheriting their beef and just parroting. Maybe that's what it is. I'll step back and say that maybe I'm parroting that, but I see a lot of problems with games that are developed in Java. I see that a lot. Just as somebody that plays a lot of video games, Java, I don't know. Java seems to work well when it works, but, you know, could not create whatever library is always popping up if you haven't updated your Java and stuff like that. So Retro Pixel Castles is a village builder that's coming out right now, and I'll try and put some footage up in the background so that you can check it out. I don't know if I have any of the stock press footage, but I'll try and put it up while I talk about it. Retro Pixel Castles is basically like a village manager. You just build a village, and your little AI guys just do whatever the hell they want. It's kind of a cool little game. It's fun. It's fun. It's pleasing to look at. It's very retro, as it's named Retro Pixel Castles. I think it's coming out for Linux, Mac, and PC on either Monday or tomorrow. I don't know. It's very primitive right now, though, and I think it's coming out at like a $14.99 cost. There is no gameplay there at the moment from the demo that I played on their website. It seems like they just let you mess around with the sandbox features right now, but nothing attacks you. Nothing tries to sabotage your progress or anything, so be aware if you've been looking at that title. I don't know what to think about Mythos the Beginning, or Mythos the Beginning. It's a Lovecraftian RPG game that I have been watching. I don't think I'm going to cover it. I may not purchase it. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'll probably watch and see what people are going to say about it. Lords of the Fallen I'm very excited about, and so I think Lords of the Fallen, what's the name of the company that's developing that? Deck 13, I think it's a German company as I recall. I think so. Anyways, I may be wrong, so feel free to correct me down in the comments if I'm wrong. I'm excited about Lords of the Fallen. I'm planning on putting it up on YouTube, but we'll see what happens. It's a AAA game. And so occasionally those have little copyright foibles and things like that. So I'll keep my ear to the rail and let you know what happens along there. But I would love to play it. It looks badass. It's got big shoulder pads and giant weapons and like glowing things and blood flying everywhere. Looks fun. Looks fun. Other things, Majestic Knight is or Majestic Knights I think is coming out this week, which is like a 1980s. It's sort of like, well, I don't want to say Hotline Miami because I think that might be selling it too high. Like, I'm not trying to be mean about the game right now, but from the gameplay I've seen, I'll have to get my hands on it and try it. All I've seen is gameplay footage for right now. The gameplay looks a little iffy. It's an RPG set in the 80s. It's like an action RPG set in the 80s. And it's got lots of pastel colors and like katanas and Uzis and all that kind of fun Miami Vice type stuff. But I don't know. I don't know what to think about it right now. By and large, there's not a whole lot of stuff coming out at the moment. I mean, I'm looking at the list right now to refresh my memory. Depth looks a little bit interesting. If you don't know what Depth is a game where one team is sharks and one team is scuba divers. And being somebody that is terrified of sharks, that seems like it would sort of scratch that itch for me. But I don't really know what else to say. Binding of Isaac Rebirth is coming out pretty soon. And I know a lot of people are lining up to play that. I don't know if I'm going to play it on the channel. I stepped away from playing Binding of Isaac in the first place because I had recording issues with it when I first started out on YouTube. I like Binding of Isaac, but I don't think I like it quite as much as other people like it. So for example, like I like FTL, but I don't like it enough to play like 150 episodes of it, which is what I found out after I started playing it, you know, hours and hours and hours a week trying to get better at it. I got a press request out for Dragon, which looks pretty cool. There's a dragon simulator coming out where you play as a dragon. It's called Dragon, and you burninate all the countrysides and all the peasants and the thatched roof cottages. And it seems like it might be a pretty cool game, but for right now, there's not a whole lot of things coming out that I'm excited about. Unfortunately, this War of Mine is coming out, and I think that is going to be a blockbuster hit. I think that's going to touch on a lot of different areas. I've been watching pretty carefully for... Oh, what's the name of the game? Oh, dear. I've been playing... Okay, so I'm going to skip it. I've been playing Salt a lot. So what have I been playing this week? I've been playing Salt a lot. I've been playing Timber and Stone quite a bit. I haven't had time to record either one. I gave The Forest a pick up this week, actually. I did it on the stream. And so I played The Forest. I'm going to put the stream info down in there. I want to make sure everybody knows that I do stream 3 times a week. I haven't been promoting the stream at all, and so I think I've had low expectations about the stream, but I'd like to like ramp it up and make it into like a thing that becomes part of the Nerd Castle. As of right now, we have a lot of the same people coming to every single stream, and so that leads me to believe that I may not be promoting it properly. And so there you go. I'm going to put the stream info in an annotation right now while I'm talking about it. I got a couple things set up. The Patreon is set up at this point so that there are like rewards for backing the channel and things like that. I think that that's looking okay. I'm happy with it. Don't worry about it. Nothing, I'm just pointing it out that I have it because people have told me that they didn't even know that I have one. I hear that all the time, and so the Patreon has been set up. Oh, Steam Curator. I set up Steam Curator this week, and so I'll put a link for that in an annotation right now too. So if you're interested in finding out my thoughts about various games across the Steam platform, I think I filled out about 40 reviews this week for it, or 40 one-liners. It is really hard to get your thoughts about a series into like 120 characters. Like seriously, it's like tweeting about a game. It's very, very difficult to really capture the essence of a game in a single tweet long, you know, one-liner, but I've been doing my best. I've been trying to make them sound professional and make sure that, you know, the tense is proper, the grammar looks good, and that everything's squared away. But I think only like 10 people have followed the Steam Curator, so I figured I should probably throw it up in a video right now. And so at this point, what I would probably do from here on out is I would have Q&A, a weekly Q&A for the weekend wrap-up. I would love to do that, or the weekend review. I haven't decided how I want to call it. I'll probably call it Weekend Review, like Weekend Splatter Chat. I don't know. I want to make use of the Splatter Chat moniker, but I haven't got around to it. I think that right here is where I would do Q&A, but for the moment, feel free to ask me questions down below. I will field questions from the comments on this video right here. Please don't email them to me. I'm so bad with my emails. Those of you who have emailed me or sent me messages, be aware that I do see everything you send me, but I just get a really, really high volume of emails, and they're mixed around in like 5 different emails, and I forward them all to central locations, but that means that that inbox gets like just an ass ton of emails every day from developers and from, people who watch the channel. It's just a lot. And so it's a character flaw. You'll have to forgive me, or I mean, you don't have to. I'm not going to you're not beholden to, but I would love it if you would. So anyways, right here is where I would do Q&A. Leave me questions. If you want me to, I can answer, anything, to be honest. We can do like a Dear Sally or whatever. I mean, real life problems, things you want to know about me, things you want to know about my process, technical stuff, whatever. I'm open to answer any question you want to throw out there, but I really, really, really want to have like a weekend space set aside where I can talk with all of you and just talk about the way that I've been feeling about the channel. I know that things have been a little bit slow lately on the channel, and it has made me, I'm not going to lie, it had me a little bit shook, but it may be just due to the fact that school's back in, YouTube's dropping patches, and so, I don't know, things are a little, something strange is afoot on YouTube right now. Something stinks, like something is stinking on the breeze. And so let me know, actually, are things showing up in my feeds? Like when I send out videos, are you guys getting that through your feeds? Because I'm not really sure what's going on right now. YouTube appears to have lost me in the paperwork somehow, and so I don't know how to fix that, but I would love for you all to help me figure it out sort of empirically just by asking various questions. This is going to be our weekend review for, what day is today? October 25th of 2014. I look forward to seeing you all next Sunday. I'm going to try and do this every single week. I'm going to try and get it lined up. I'm really sincerely going to try and get it lined up. It's going to follow the same format every single time. I will see you all there. Thank you for joining me. I can't thank you enough for being a part of the Nerd Castle. I am blessed with one of the best communities ever on YouTube, and I truly believe that. I look at the comments that people have on other people's channels, and I'm just like, holy shit, I could never deal with somebody calling me out on that like all day, every day, and just being openly cruel. Like, I get cruel comments every now and again, but I'm able to ignore them because they don't come in mass, and I'm so happy for the community that I have. So I look forward to see you all, I guess, on the 1st would be the next one, November 1st maybe. I'll see you all there. Take care, everybody. Hi, do. Let me know what your questions are for next week. Don't forget, type it down in the comment down there. Let me know what your questions are, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Bye, everybody.